Okay, so we're going to continue on with what we were sharing about Hellel, Lucifer, the bringers of light, and it sounds like we've already got a couple comments about what we've released, and I'm so pleased that people are seeing it for what it is in its true frequency. Because I know a lot of things we say that, we ask questions, could this potentially be similar to Yeshua, right? But again, everything is seen through the lenses of a greater perspective, and then in the eyes of innocence, without contortion or distortion or another man's agenda that is bent in towards a direction that was not intended. So I wanted to recap just a little bit, then we need to roll with this because there's a lot to unpack in this Lucifer, and I don't even really want to use that word again, because it's really a lesser construct. It's Latin, and we can go into Hellel here pretty quick to see that we can just start calling it Hellel. So we shared about the process and the journey of light and phosphorus and nitrogen and potassium, and right, because it's really, that's the sackcloth that covers us because we've been fully consumed, and these consumed ones are the essence of light being fully revealed, and this is exactly the sackcloth and ashes, and the journey of becoming is all synonymous with becoming a light bearer, and that's what we are. So this individual, if we are courageous enough to comprehend what's being spoken and shared, we are it. And really, in a nutshell, it's talking about the potentiality of who we can become through a resonance frequency of pure intention.
Right, and because we are all one.
Right, we're simply fractals of all source, all flower, grand flower, great spirit, whatever you want to put value and associate to. Yes, that's all one fractaled out. And so we, as brothers and sisters, husbands and wives, daughters, brothers, mothers, sons, are all of one essence, working our way back to the intention through love's experience, whether good, bad, or indifferent. We're ingathering the fractal pieces that we call love as one cumulative measure, and we call it experience. We go through our dimly dark and the shades of unknowing into the revealing processing of light to be called dark again. And dark isn't a bad word. Dark, it's the mysterious of unknown. That's what it's saying. We'll try to shed light on that as well. But so let's go into the file that I gave you, and so we can just recap that one phrase of why the spirit hovered over, and I extracted this from it. So just kind of recapping what I just said. From the dark, we unknowingly encounter the many shades of dim's mysterious shadows until we become that which sheds light, as we have become the mysterious dark. And this is just becoming a light bearer through the shades of dark, the mysterious levels of unknowingly. If you eat from that, then you're going to have to journey through the experience. You're going to have to go into the journey of what you call death, and it's out of a higher estate into a lesser estate. We're already in death. This suit is a death suit because it has a time limit on it. That is death. It just means you're in the time limit. You're in the parentheses of time. You're going to go through the death parentheses, and hopefully you see it correctly to extrapolate out what is necessary to become light again.
Right. Well, and that time limited is actually a good thing, because if you were living in an incarnation that had a lot of pain and suffering,
yeah,
it's limited.
And we'll look at the damage we've already done in this matrix. We've already created such a grand illusion and an aversion that is not the intention, but yet now it is still adds to the experience. But so yeah, if we had more time, it would definitely be something that is horrific. So let's go into this. Let's go into this verse right here. We have from Luke 2:32 is how we started, and we can see that a light and lighten, and I color coded this so we could see this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we can see that ties into menorah.
Before you go further, Israel is so important for people to look at here, of how it's spelled in Aramaic.
Right.
Because this would be Yasher.
Right.
The Semek is now in lieu of the Sheen. And El would be those that have the power.
Right.
Because they've become one. Right. Israel is meant to become one.
Right.
And this is how the name changes in the progression of our becoming. But you would never see that unless you dug.
Right. Absolutely.
That's beautiful. And so how did the people Israel do it? It's right here. They were instructed in the ways of light through yoking and tanging themselves to the sacred letters of light and love.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. And so it's right in that one paragraph in Luke. And Luke, by the way, means a bringer of light. Luke means a light bearer.
Right.
Lucius. It's the same as what people don't even like to say the word, right? Because Lucius connects to Lucifer. But again, we're just deboning it to reveal the meat. And so that's all we're doing. So we're uncovering it. And
right, which exactly, is Le Giliana. Right here.
If you go down, just go down. It's right below it. Highlighted in blue to color code it so you can see what's being said, right? Yeah. And that we can see that in that Giliana, that we can see on the prefix of it, like you were just saying, that there's now an added lamed. Yes. And so we have a light bearer added to the light that uncovers you. Those are twin lameds now added. Or not, the twin lameds aren't added, but now we have two lameds that are bringing greater definition to this, what is being revealed. So a light bringer is shedding light on the light. Right. So
that you can gather and assemble the light.
Right.
That will bring you power on the spiritual path to becoming one.
Right.
So that you are revealed.
Right.
Or uncovered.
Right. One complete light is through the ingathering of the fractals of light. Because in all honesty, even extrapolating this out, now we see.
And by the way, that means fountain in Aramaic.
Oh, good. Perfect.
That means fountain.
Yeah, because everything should tether from the old to the new, from the beginning to the end. So it should equate as. Because we're going to go into what the fountain is. We've already, in the last verse, we shared a little bit, but we are going to fully break down the picture that the Spirit gave me, shedding light on the revelation beast and the 7 heads and what this all is, because these are all attributes of yourself. If you have the courage to see it, then you can become it. And we can move aside from all this projection of
a lesser narrative.
It's a lesser narrative, but it's also been a projection that we've willingly partnered with, and now it's time to break free from that because it's become stagnant and it's become really fear-based, and now we're setting up for a lesser narrative. So
it's shackled us.
Right, it's really chained us, and this will actually even go into the unshackled woman in the heavens, and we're going to go into that as well because it's all tethered. It's painstaking to bring it forward because.
There's so many moving parts.
Well, to make a glass of water, it's done through drips, right? And so, to be courteous and kind, that we can remove all doubt and fear, so we would know this needs to be done. So uncover the mature light of revelation is what we're doing, and so let's look at this first. Now we're going to get into.
Well, and I love right here that it's the Nuhara, right? It's the mountain. It's the mountain of light.
Absolutely.
Because that's Har.
Right.
The mountain of light that will be uncovered.
Right.
That's beautiful by the teaching shepherds that come to teach the way.
Right. So I put this in here as a recap so we see the new, right? Mm-hmm. We can see the new in there. So this is actually tethered to the lampstand and to the weaver's beam, and to what Mother does. It's part of the Zadi, right? It's talking about tilling and then.
And the Zayin.
Mm-hmm. And the Zayin, right? Right, desiring to be tilled into established form of what,
and then to cut off which no longer serves us, the dead wood.
Right, plow and sickle.
Yeah, plow, sickle, sword.
Plow, sickle, sword. It's all
journey, hunt, chase.
Yeah, it's all the same word. They're all connected. They're all connected. Okay, so we have.
And then knowing with the menorah, it's especially in this part about plowing, it's the spiritual path that gives you power, means, and direction on the inside to raise you up to be a first fruit.
Right. This is a light bearer. This is all synonymous. The menorah is the light bearer. The light bringer stands between the 3 and the 3 as one. These are the 7 heads.
Right, and that totally makes sense because we already released a video showing the 7 chakras of the 7 lights.
Right. So these are the 7 heads.
Oh, yeah, the 7 heads that will have light upon them.
Yes.
Oh, my gosh. Of course it's that way.
Yes.
I've just, because we've talked about that with Asher.
Yes.
Olive Sheen Resh, the fire upon the head.
Fire upon the heads. And those are attributes.
Yeah.
Right. So
that's
those are
amazing.
attributes. So you stand center in this with your hands extended, right? So
as the Shemesh candle, the servant candle.
Right. And so that would be really, in a lesser narrative, Lucifer. In a higher narrative, it would be Hellel, right? And now let's go into really why we're saying this. So you are now your own lamp, because the lamp, that's what I'm saying, that you've gone through the dim of the mysteriously unknown, of the shades of the dark, and right, some light has been on your feet, and then at some point,
Right, a light unto your path.
now you become that which has illuminated you. Now you are that light, and therefore you've become the mysterious dark, because you've ingathered all the fractal pieces of the mysterious, the dark,
to make you deep.
Right, to make you deep. Now
Yeah.
you comprehend, right, through the signs of the moon and the sun.
The moed.
You comprehend the dark and the light. You
Right.
now know and can discern between what is and what is not, right? And so, because outside of the parentheses of times, again, in through Caucasian, we've already talked about this, is that there is no moon and sun. It is all encompassing as all.
As one.
As one. Only in here are we given signs
of duality,
right,
in our divinity school.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what it is. So
exactly.
Very good. Okay.
I love the fact that Hellel is the light unto our path.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
So let's go.
That's so awesome.
So let's go down a little. So this is all here for a recap, just so we can go down. So let's just roll down this thing to till the ground. We're tilling the ground through Mother. We're plowing. We're seeding. We're planting. We're a lamp unto our feet. There's the lamp, right? Tilled ground, untilled, right?
Right, because it's also to till up the fallow ground.
Right.
So that the seeds can be planted to germinate, which is the noon.
And we can see that in this lamp, right, that noon, Yod, Resh, right? So now arisen, right, perpetuity has the power of an established headstone. That's a lamp.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I mean, again, we're skipping stones over deeper waters, but for the sake of time, this, you need to do your own due diligence, but this is a light, right? This is what a light, this is Nor. This is the same as a light bringer is this, okay? He's done the work of mother and father and wrestled. And however you've wrestled, I would just say well done, because it's difficult. So let's go down a bit further. And
wait, first occurrence?
And you should make a, that's why I put it in there. Yeah, so for the 7, lamps of 7.
Yeah, but look at this. Is that literally how it's written?
That's literally how it's written.
The Tav is in the
center.
This is the 13th chakra that has been activated. This is the full activation of the Merkaba.
Yeah, that would be in your heart.
And how is it done?
Through the Aleph Tav.
The first and the last. Strong covenant of love.
And that's the wrestle. There's the journey. That's the night and the dark. That's the beginning and the end. That's the black. That's the white.
And it's ascension.
It's
right there. The being teachable, right, and humble, the revelation of mother, and then the revelation of father, so that you can ascend.
Yep. I love
that is so amazing.
Yeah. So we can. Yeah. So our heart is to make it easier on people, that be excited, for goodness sakes, be excited. Change your perspective. If you have fear, doubt, and confusion, from my house to yours, I just speak, if you allow me to break that off. Like, our heart is to bring a perspective of hope and restoration. And if we're able to see that, then you generate that frequency. And if the few gather with the many, now we have corporate agreement of mutual consent to really construct a reality that allows for the greater expression to take hold.
Right, and because we're combining our light force together.
And at some point, we go over the tipping point. I think you call it the 100 monkeys.
Yeah.
And you've shared it with people. Yeah. But at some point, we go over the tipping point that qualifies for that assistance to come in the greater measure, because there's comprehension of that greater reality.
Well, it's because the new neural pathways have been established in the collective consciousness, which allows the people in the collective to access those new pathways.
Yeah, it's just a deeper way.
Neuroplasticity.
Yeah, it's just a way of breaking free of the old paradigm.
Yep.
And we have to break free of that, or we greatly are benefited if we can do this.
Well, and that's just because the new pathways need to establish the highway.
Yeah. So anyway, so that's a big verse.
Well, it is, because even the 7 has the hay on the end.
Yeah. So there's the reveal. There's the revelation. That's the breath. There's the breath of 7. And 7ing really means Shabbat. It means actually to sanctify, to consecrate, but it also means
to seven yourself.
To seven yourself through a sacred oath.
Exactly.
Right. And so there's a lot in that, because there's the fire that has built, and in that bet there's a hidden Tav. So Bet Tav, there's
right.
So in the fire of the journey of the Bet Tav and the 222,
shoot.
You will have
turn as one who's married.
Yes, you will have the completion of of turning into the intention, because this is all about really the holy union of one. Again,
Right.
1 to 1. From one came two. From two shall come one again.
Yep.
And so now you become the knowing, the eye that sees all, the completed of revelation, the
Yep.
reveal. These are the Father's reveal because they've gone through the fire. And this again is the thicket. You built your own wicket, your thicket. You built your own basket per se, and it is in the form and representation of your own reflection in your own mirror. And at some point in the coming near future, it will be offered as a love sacrifice. It will be a drink poured out that you have done what you needed to do. It's got nothing to do with offering up the flesh or blood sacrifice.
Like in the natural.
In the natural.
No.
It's all spiritual.
Yep.
So I want to be clear with that. It's got nothing to do with the sacrificial system other than the spirit sacrifice of in gathering the high frequency of light. And at some point you tip the scale and you become that. And it's actually, we can look at that a little further about Shakiel, which means a loud percussion that will shake off an outer layer. It's actually,
Right.
and it roots out a line. But enough of that.
They made this. Asa.
Yes.
They made this through the power that was given to him by the vision of the Father and through his covenant.
Right.
Which is the esoteric side that we're sharing with everybody right now.
Right. Yeah.
Through the language.
Yeah. This is all Ascension language.
This is huge. This verse is massive.
Right. But again, it's not really, it is what we're talking about. But yes, but I can only choose so many. It's in there as a reference point for further extrapolation.
Well, it shows that you're making light.
You're making light, but that's the point. Light. That's the point of being, you are now become Hellel. You become, well, if you're making light, is light? Does light resonate to the frequency of a lesser light, or is light light? Is Yeshua, if he is the essence of light and light is light, then is that an all-encompassing frequency, or is there fractals of light? It's a rhetorical question.
Right.
I'm not really asking for an answer, but ask yourself that, because if you're making light and light is light, then is this you? Is this Yeshua? Is this Hellel? Because light is light.
Exactly.
Okay?
Yep. Nope. I see where you're going with that.
Okay, because there's the next word. There's light.
Right.
And so now we have illumination, right? In the sense of happiness, which ties to Asher, which ties to the Asherim.
Right.
Right? Because that's the love, Ashra. And then that roots down at to become, to be or become light.
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Or then to be or make luminous.
Right. And so illumination or the Illuminati.
And I love this because it's literally or meta.
Right. Metaphorical. Right. So it's a crossed over language of, right. And metaphoric, this is Greek. Metaphorical is a Greek word.
Right.
And I think I have it here. I've broken down phoric and meta, broken down to assist people of why we use metaphorical language, because everything is in the journey and expression of love is the journey of becoming light, or the lack of. But everything in this construct that we call world, in this reality, it's all purpose that we would become light. So everything is a metaphorical concept of us becoming. That's only a Greek word, but we're showing you that phora or for, it goes to really or other words that associate this manor, right? We're trying to show you other words instead of metaphorical, still saying the same thing in its own metaphoric way. Right. You're becoming or.
Exactly.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.